Hello. Okay, so it's Thursday. I'm full of a cold. So I caught the flu-y, coldy thing that's been going round, probably at work. That just happens. But given the circumstances, I could do with not being ill with a cold. So I've got my appointment with the oncology department at Worcester tomorrow in the afternoon. Still haven't had a letter from them. Had to actually phone up today to get confirmation. But yeah, it's tomorrow. So one of the things that that I've done today while I've been off work sick is I've gone through my drawer and I've pulled out all my old bras, most of which have got wires underneath. Ta-da! There's a bit of a theme. I like black underwear, obviously. Some really rather gorgeous ones. Thing is, I can't wear bras with wires at the moment. They're just, quite frankly, painful. So the bras that are my favourite comfy bras right now, I've stripped all the wires out of. In fact, one of them has wires on one side and not on the other side. Does it make me look lopsided? Do I give a shit? No, I don't give a shit. So my favourite bra right now is a bra that I bought before I went on holiday. And I'm sorry to the guys, but I'll show you this bra. Right, this bra, which has no wire. No wire. It has this big, thick, kind of comfy band underneath, and it's super comfy and really quite pretty. It's got a lovely plungy neckline. I know all the guys are going, "What?" Okay, well, I don't really care about that. I googled symptoms of breast cancer at one point. And truthfully, what I discovered was there are very few symptoms. Most people that are, a lot of the people that are diagnosed say, I didn't know, had no symptoms. Well, they must have had some. Truthfully, unless you went for a mammogram and something was spotted, you'd have had a reason for going to your GP and saying, I don't know, something feels off, I think I've got a lump, I don't know. I've had quite a lot of people asking me what my symptoms were. So I have an underactive thyroid and I get really tired anyway. And I was diagnosed with that about 4 years ago. And at the very, very beginning, I remember the GP telling me that, you know, it had probably taken place over a couple of years. And so my energy had slowly sort of gone down and down and down. And that going on the medication wouldn't have an immediate result. I think he likened me to an oil tanker at sea. I was like, okay, try not to take that personally and think that I'm just a big fat whale or something. But I think what he meant was when you try and turn one of those big ships, they take quite a long time to turn. So I understood. It took quite a few months before taking the thyroxine seemed to have any effect on my energy levels. Well, last year, during the middle of the year, I started to think that the thyroxine wasn't working because I could feel my energy levels really, really zapping. So I think there were a couple of times when I put posts on Facebook, and I had a friend of mine who's kind of going on a diet at the moment because she discovered she had diabetes. People saying, you know, lay off the sugar. Maybe it's you don't know, do you? So I went to my GP and I had a full blood workup done in about September, October time. So I obviously knew something wasn't right. My body, in truth, I already had cancer. My body was fighting cancer. I have absolutely no doubt that that was zapping my energy and affecting me, although I didn't obviously know why. Hi, Jenny. In the end, the only reason I actually followed up with a conversation with my GP was because I was taking Zachary to the doctor. It was Zachary hadn't had tonsillitis, and I hadn't woken up that morning and thought, I'll see if I can get a double appointment, which is quite hard to come by, but, you know, I'll see if I can get one. Normally by the time you get through to the doctors, you're lucky if you get one appointment, never mind two back to back. But that day I did. And I happened to mention that I was still a bit worried that I was low on energy, and also that my under my arm, around my breast felt a bit tender maybe, and I thought maybe I had a bit of a lump. Anyway, long story short, my GP immediately said, better safe than sorry, let's get it checked out. And it was 10 days later that I had the diagnosis. So in the space of 10 days, I'd been called in to Worcester Breast Unit and had a series of a mammogram and the one where they put the thing on you and they scan you. Oh, scans. Anyway, can't think of the name. And biopsies. Okay, in truth, the day of that appointment didn't go the way I expected it to go. There were alarm bells ringing. This is probably what they normally do if they're not worried. So by the time I went back, I did have an inkling that something might be going on, but you don't go to the worst place scenario. You go to kind of, it's just an infection, it's a blocked duct, it's something they can give me antibiotics for. Anyway, it wasn't. Here I am. Sometimes the tears just get you. Okay, so here I am, 11th of January, that was the 4th of December. So it's just over a month later, isn't it? And I can't wear bras with wires. And I probably won't want to during the chemo. I'll probably just want them to be really comfy. So out go the sexy bras. And I do feel like taking a lighter to them. In a rather symbolic gesture. But I'll probably just chuck them in the clothes recycling bin down at the tip. They might find a second life, who knows? There's nothing wrong with them, and there's some really really nice, quite expensive brands in here. Girls got to have some luxuries. Expensive underwear has always been one of mine, that and expensive bedding. So yeah, okay, afterwards when it's all over and they've, you know, done their $6 million woman thing on me and, you know, reconstructed me with titanium boobs. No, sorry, that was a work joke. That I won't have titanium boobs. You know what I mean. Then I think I will probably want new underwear. I will probably deserve, and I might need new underwear, because who knows? I mean, you know, who knows? And I might want it to be red. Anyway, no black. Whatever. So I went through my underwear drawer. Yeah, do you know what, Yvette? The thing is, I might be able to wear them afterwards, or I might not. I might actually just feel like new underwear. Because every girl deserves an overhaul on her underwear drawer, so bollocks to them. Off they go. Can you hear them hitting the floor? Afterwards, I think I should deserve a splash out. And I shall probably go to one of these really nice underwear shops and splash out on some completely new underwear to celebrate. They do all these soft things for people who've had mastectomies. Okay. Maybe that's a discussion for later on down the line, because that might just bring a few tears. And I'll learn all about that, I'm sure, when the time comes. One step at a time. Obviously, what I do know from Monday, yeah, absolutely, new bras. And there is a really, really nice place in Malvern, but you know what? I may just do a bit of internet shopping too. But anyway, that's besides the point. And Okay, so yeah, I did come away from Monday a tiny bit deflated. Thought I'd have a lot more information than I did, not just you're going to be seeing somebody else. But I suppose I did get more information than I had before, and the more information was that it wasn't going to be surgery first, that it was going to be chemo first. Funnily enough, on Tuesday, somebody came into work, the guy that does our window cleaning, and actually he went, "Oh, my mum had breast cancer last year, and she didn't have any chemo, she just had surgery." So I said this in a previous video, everybody's story, everybody's journey through a similar diagnosis is going to be different, and it's going to be relevant to that particular patient. The treatment plan fits you, fits, you know, the particular circumstances of your cancer. Because mine isn't just a lump, because it's an animal with legs. Would you like to see a picture? Not of me personally, you don't really want to see that picture, but a hospital gave me this book to read to the kids. It's called Medi-Kids, and it's a comic book story that helps the kids understand why cells mutate and what goes wrong. And there's a little picture here of a boob. There you go, and what a normal boob looks like. And then there's a little diagram further along that shows you in cancerous boobs sort of what they look like. So here we go, here's a little diagram. Look, there's a picture there of a normal one, there's one there with a lump. Wait a minute, let's see if I can get it to focus. There's one there with a lump, and there's one there which has got like little, I don't know if you can see, little sort of little things coming out of the lump. Well, that's what happens. So, you know, I've got invasive cancer cells as well as non-invasive cancer cells. It's the invasive cancer cells that invade the rest of your body. I know, imaginative name, that's why they're called invasive. I've obviously washed my hair. I'm hoping that it's still bright pink when I dry it. So it's the invasive cancer cells, the ones that have mutated even more, bad cancer cells, that invade the rest of your body. Mine travelled to my lymph nodes, and your lymph nodes act like a sieve. They're supposed to catch the cancer, and they do a really good job of catching it until they become too full, and then it travels. So there is a risk for me that it will travel beyond my lymph nodes. That's basically what he said on Monday. And because there's that risk, and because they've been there a while, and the lymph nodes have got big cancer tumours in them, that's why they want to do the chemo first. They want to do the chemo first to kill off any further growth and stop the cancer going beyond there. So if there's been any mutation beyond the lymph nodes, the chemo will slow that down, stop it, kill it, whatever. Okay, so I'm prepared to be sick as a dog for the next 6 months or so, in the hope that I don't catch any colds or flus or other nasty bugs during that period of time. Because what I also know now is that anything like that, that knocks back the chemo. You can't have chemo if you catch another infection. If you catch another infection, that makes you even more ill and you end up in hospital. Most of the chemo treatment is an in-out on the day and then come home and just be sick at home. Thank God for box sets. We need Taboo season 2 to come on, really, seriously, because I need a bit of Tom Hardy in my life. Although, must confess, loving Peaky Blinders. Yeah, I do have a type. Clearly the guys that I'm enamoured with are not pretty boys. Anyway, that'll make me smile. A bit of Tarzan maybe. Might go back to watching the whole of this, the however many seasons of True Blood. I might have a bit of time wrapped up on the sofa in blankets, or I might just sleep. I've spent most of the last 2 days asleep, so I haven't slept very well because I'm all bunged up and everything. I've had a couple of Sudafed now, and I've woken up both mornings and got the kids ready for school. So we get up at 7 o'clock and I've done breakfast and all that, and then I've laid back down and thought, I'll just have a rest. And I've woken up at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Obviously needed it. So there we go. Get rid of the cold. Go and see the oncology consultant tomorrow. Burn the bras. Not literally, but, you know, metaphorically speaking. There you go, that's the word I was looking for. Metaphorical. So metaphorically speaking, get rid of the bras. And rely on my comfy bras for the next few months. And then go on a splurge afterwards for a whole new underwear wardrobe. Sounds quite nice. It's always nice to have something to look forward to. And what girl does not love new underwear shopping and new underwear at the end of it? I need to save a bit of money now to be able to splurge, don't I? Yeah, so that's where I am. I've run a bath. I'm just about to jump into the bath, giving the kids their snacks. They've been at Mum and Dad's this evening. Yeah, that's where I am. So I guess I'll do a bit of an update tomorrow when I get back from the consultant, and I'll have a date, won't I? The registrar at the breast clinic seemed to think it would be next week at some point. They'd probably appoint a day, and it will be like, it might be sort of every Tuesday in cycles of every 3 weeks. And there are 8 of them. So as I said before, that's, if you do, you know, 3 times 8, effectively you're talking about 6 months. So what is it now? It's January. That's going to take me up to July, isn't it? Assuming that that none of those are delayed for any reason. So if we add a bit of lag into it, that's definitely knocking into the summer, isn't it? To get my garden sorted, so on nice sunny days I can go and sit and get a bit of restorative sunshine medicine. So after that, it'll be surgery. And the other thing that I know is that the chemo will not have an effect on the surgery that I have. So at the end of it, the cells that so far have been damaged by the cancer, and the cancer that's already there still has to be cut out. And I'm under no illusions, because I have seen some of the notes, so I do know that it's not a small lump, that it is you know, a full-on. I can't believe they're just going to cut off such a huge chunk of my body. And hopefully not too much of the chest wall as well, so that they're able to reconstruct at the same time. The surgeon basically said he won't know that until he starts cutting. But before then, when we go through the last cycle of chemo, apparently we'll have a big chat about which option I want to go down, and whether or not, and I have to give my consent for reconstruction, and if it's possible at the time, they'll do it there and then. If I've had a tough time through the chemo, or he goes in and realises he has to cut more away than he expected, then it's not possible. And fingers crossed, the chemo will do its job and there won't be any radiotherapy at the end, because the radiotherapy really does kill cells, and that makes a massive difference to the reconstruction surgery. And I don't really, I've spent most of my life being flat-chested, relatively flat-chested. I don't want to be even more flat-chested. I'd actually like to be bigger. I've always wanted bigger boobs, so I'm kind of hoping he'll go, okay, fine. Oh, come on! Have I got to go through this? I'd like to have my cleavage back at the end of it, or at least a decent, half-decent cleavage. I've already started researching. Tattoos. And I've always wanted more body tattoos, so I think this is a bloody good excuse, quite frankly. I have noticed over the last few weeks that, true to my word, there have been more shits in my language, and it is shit, let's face it. It's shit. I've got cancer. It's shit. It's not what I expected. Just not on my list of things that I really, really wanted to do. I really want to go to the Great Wall of China, not have cancer. Bollocks. Anyway, I think this year is going to change me quite a bit. I think from this point onwards, I probably have less tolerance for not doing the things that I should be doing, that I want to do. And if I was ever a determined person before, and I always have been, I think I'll be even more of a determined person. I think I'll really, really be determined to make the most of opportunities, life, everything. And I'll have a drawer full of beautiful bras. I think I shall, order myself a fig leaves catalogue. I don't think it's a Marks and Spencer's job, is it, truthfully? Come on. I think by the time I get to the end of this, 12 months from now, I think it's got to be a designer bra job, hasn't it? Okay, it might mean less, but well, we'll have to see, hey? Between now and then, I'm going to get Jane Evans, you and I are going to start planning for our next birthday. Without giving numbers away, we're both hitting a 0. We are. 40, obviously. Having just had my 39th birthday. Oh, bollocks. Right, okay. I will try not to swear too much in I don't think bollocks is a bad word, or shit. Not really. My grandfather was rather fond of that word. Anyway. Okay. So, I'm going to jump in the bath, and I'll probably have a rest again tomorrow morning before I go into work to meet Kat, to go and meet the consultant. We've met some really, really nice doctors and consultants, but we haven't met the same one yet at any point during this process. Every single time I go in, it's a different one. I'm not knocking the NHS. They do an awesome job, and under the circumstances, quite clearly they're acting fast, and I have faith in what they'll do. And there have been times when, obviously, the NHS has done a marvellous job on my behalf, but you almost think to yourself, it'd be really good if they gave you one doctor, and that one doctor, every time you went in, you would see the same doctor, and you wouldn't have to sit with somebody who said, well, I actually wasn't in the meeting when they discussed your case, so I've just had to read your notes. Okay, well, it is early days. I'm sure I'll come across the same people at various points during the process. We did laugh a little bit when he said, we need to schedule the surgery as you reach the end of your chemo, and we don't automatically, do that. We don't automatically look at your notes to see where you are. So you actually have to ring us. Be proactive. I'm not knocking being proactive. But yeah, make a note to ring us, because otherwise we won't ring you. It's like, okay, fair enough. Good job I had Kat with me, who, remembered the time of the appointment tomorrow, because I didn't. I got it completely wrong. And B, we'll take note of those things, put them in the schedule, put them in my diary to make sure that we do them. Well, tomorrow we'll get dates. Tomorrow I'll have more answers. Tomorrow is going to be a longer appointment because I've got a lot of questions. And yes, I've written them down. And he'll give me a date. He'll tell me when we're going to start. So I'm going to spend the next few days absolutely knocking this cold on the head, and getting as much rest as possible so that I head into it as strong and healthy as I can. And then, well, expect more videos. Might not want to watch the ones when I go, I had chemo today and I'm feeling rubbish. I think there should be a lot more pink hair. Oh, that was the only bit of bad news. That not all chemo makes you lose your hair. But unfortunately for me, the particular chemo that they give you at the very beginning of breast cancer treatment in particular, and certainly for me, is the one that affects your hair follicles. There is a cap, apparently. You can wear a cold cap. But he did say not very many people get on very well with the cold cap. Some people okay, but on the whole, be prepared. That's why it's called the cancer haircut, I suppose. And it's a reminder now for me, like the little video I shared the other day, if it's a woman and she's got rocking, you know, that bold hairstyle, she's probably going through a tough time or has been through a tough time. So, you know, have compassion. You can ask me how I am. Of course you can ask me how I am. I might tell you to get lost. I might say, I've got cancer. How do you think I am? Or I might just understand with gentleness and kindness that people don't know what else to say. So that's okay. It's nice that people care, and I do want friends at the end of this process, so we'll try hard not to be short-tempered with people. I will try hard to be kind and gentle, even when I'm feeling like shit. So, bras are gone. There could be new bras, and I'll see you tomorrow.